Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're taking a look at a different kind of dragon deck. This one piqued my interest a little bit when I was taking a look around, and really it was just something interesting to play. It is a pretty standard ramp dragon, but without any of the tilting or Saha Isra combinations. So this one seems to be leaning towards a more, I guess, future rotation kind of deck, where certain things of course won't be available, like Breath of the Salamander for example, but this could be pretty easily converted, I reckon, with some new cards, and probably could work quite well as a decent dragon deck. It also contains a lot of area effect damage with Frenzied Drake, and of course Conflag, and of the Breath of Salamander, which obviously in future would need to be replaced. But overall, this is still a really solid deck and did quite well in the couple of games I've played with it, so hopefully you guys enjoy it, and we'll get right into the video. So I mainly got to fight Rune with this deck, which is why I'm actually featuring two Rune decks, although they were reasonably different enough that I thought it would be at least interesting. So I wanted to really show that off. With Dragon Summoner, Canyon of Dragons, and Sybil being your opening draw, you're probably dumping those two just so you can try and go for something earlier. Of course, getting a nice bit of ramp is always going to help you a lot more than anything else in this deck in particular, but you can also do quite well just curving out and dealing with your opponent's board. Of course, Rune's intro play is Starseer's Telescope, which tells me this is 100% Dirt Rune. You're not running that in really anything else. It's either going to be a burn variant or a normal variant. So we're not really sure which track they're going down, but we know it's one of the two. Dwarf Alchemist also gets its drop onto the board, which isn't something I can immediately deal with without wasting a Breath of Salamander, so just kind of throwing the Dragon Summoners out to pull more dragon cards is pretty good play.
Holy magic is sick.
And then of course Carl has to come down, ruining my life, as always Carl. Never a good time. Breath of the Salamander plus a couple of pings does pick these off pretty quickly, and leave us available for next turn where we can actually take advantage of Sybil. Which Cauldron isn't a big threat, and neither is Happy Pig, so that's always quite nice when something like that happens. So I get my chance to use the Sybil. I'm going to heal back up, I'm going to get a little bit of ramp, which would be nice with the Conflag. Didn't decide to trade, not really looking to trade into the Happy Pig. I'd rather they force the Evolve on it right now. Especially since, honestly, I really just wanted to use the Sybil to body that. And I can now abuse my own Dragon Sword anyway to get some value out of that one.
I won't let you harm Mr. Dragon.
Which actually sets up a pretty reasonable 4-4, which won't be too easily cleared without forcing another Evolve.
Gaze into the light.
I really just wanted them to burn a couple of Evolves.
The heart must be kept pure.
Still room for improvement.
So going into turn 9, Frenzied Drake looks like a solid play. After all, we've got plenty of cards in our deck right now, and in our hand that should be able to roll this Rune over. Heligolem does get its drop though, which is pretty substantial. I mean, Heligolem is super solid, but they are forced to at least remove this 7-4 now. So it was a good way for them to waste it. And going into turn 10, that means we can also just force out more direct damage. Basically, it's answer every single turn or lose at this point for them. That's kind of what we're aiming for. We can constantly pressure them, then they're going to constantly be under that pressure and they won't have a choice but to eventually burn out. Mutagenic Bolt though is a pretty good counter to this, although hitting one follower always feels pretty bad unless it is your only option. Now we can actually pretty much swing this game into our favour. We can easily throw the Dragoon Ciphers just for face damage, and with the Rat and a 5-5 coming out of this Canyon of Dragons, we're actually really set up.
The name's Levi, don't forget.
Levi though does get to clear me pretty well. But our 5-5 sticks, so all we really need to do is go face with it, and at least probably remove this Levi since we don't really have any other decent play to go down. And throw out the 2-2 because we have no other way to get value out of it at this point.
Oh, slipped
But
up.
another Canyon will summon another 5/5, which should be really difficult to deal with, even if you did have another Levi.
The name's Levi, don't forget.
So they're really being forced to deal with this now, and it looks like Halagon is going to do the job. But is it really enough for them? Especially when I can follow up immediately with another Frenzied Drake, which will clear this, and set up for a 7/7 and a 5/5 on my board. Mutagenic would be a pretty solid counter, but pretty much waste their entire turn. Honestly, they would need some crazy combination of cards to really deal with this effectively in a single turn. Silent Laboratory, just not enough. Next up, another rune deck, of course. I did say we had a couple of rune matches for this video. I would have liked a little more variation, but I think these are pretty fine considering we are reaching what will be the end of this meta and the end of this expansion. We'll be going to the next one with a fresh set of decks, so this deck may survive that rotation, only need a few minor changes afterwards, so I probably will revisit this style of deck or something else in the Dragon archetype depending on what else we get. So we've got pretty good ramp, Dragon Oracle, Sybil, all solid ramp options. Of course we would also have to replace Draconic Fervor for anyone who spotted that as well, because that is another Rage of Bahamut card I believe. So we would need to replace that, which should be pretty easy with the new ramp card that was announced, the 3-drop that gives you a 2-drop spell. It's a pretty solid answer to that. It does allow you to ramp at least on 5. Outside of Sybil. So they're really forcing these, building up their potential damage.
Gaze into the light.
That's not really a big effect on us. I mean, I can pretty much go straight into the Dragoon Scyther. I can actually hold the Sybil and the Dragon Sword till next turn, which will actually double ramp this really quite quickly.
Could've done worse.
And with a Light Evolve, we should actually be able to at least remove the 4/3.
Heart must be kept pure.
This should be a nice setup. All we're really missing now is a good draw
Still no
card.
match for Mr. Dragon. Lewis Water.
So I really wanted the ramp here over just evolving Sybil like I was planning to, mainly because this will take me straight to 10, which is absolutely insane considering we're only on turn 5. We've actually doubled our play point value at this point basically. Well, technically it'll be turn 6, it'll be on 10, but still a crazy premise to think about.
Gaze into the light.
So they do have a really solid source of healing now, and the Lyriel is also super good at removing this. So we do have to get a little lucky with our top deck. If we can get something that can forcibly remove everything here, we could start making our big comeback. And Ice Jahar isn't quite that, but Blazing plus this Canyon of Dragons will at least put some pressure onto their board to deal with it. I mean, an immediate 5/5 is pretty dangerous. The other option for them is to go all face, but we just have to wait and see how they play that out. So they send the 3/3 in, and the 2/3. They do summon the Lyriel out, but is it enough?
Gaze into the light.
So there's that 4 damage push that we were expecting, and we do get Dragoon Scyther, which is a pretty good way to deal with this 4/5. They're out of Evolve, so Lyriel really doesn't do anything major, and we do get this 5/5 on our board.
The darkness.
Of course, Mage of Nightfall is being set up to obviously threaten a lethal. So we are in a huge kind of risky spot, I guess, but Sybil does a pretty good job once you add on its Evolve.
It won't be long
And
now.
if these 5/5s get to stick next turn, that means the Ice Jahar will actually be lethal once we do this 5 damage to their face. Which, considering they have to remove Sybil as well, and we've actually just killed out of range of most of their attacks, that's going to be fairly easy for us to hopefully do. The only other really dangerous card would be Mutagenic, but even then the eyes would be still super strong. So it looks like both of our dragons get to stick to the board here. That is a lethal option right there. Super good. It's interesting to see two different kinds of dirt rune, a more standard dirt rune and then a kind of hybrid dirt rune. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You can find this deck list in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.